Worms,
Yes.
what is your take home from that discussion?
If I'm being honest and truly so,
Yes.
I need to read some more. I need to research a bit more, and I need to equip my intellectual capacity. If I'm being honest, that is my take home. Barack has really challenged me in that way, and it's obviously a good way, I believe.
Yeah.
So what I can be next week, next month, you'll see a totally different Wamsi.
New books.
New I've also
literature.
realized you're quite versed in that category. You could happen na Barack, and trust me, whenever I text you nowadays, it will be, oh, please recommend a book. Please recommend, please. Absolutely.
Reading is very good. And now we have another guest in the studio.
Kabisa.
Wams, do you
Yes.
do the honors?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
We have a very good gentleman in studio, a personal friend of mine, Mr. Chris Rumenda. I don't know if I did that justice.
You did a lot of
Did
that.
I?
So what does Chris Rumenda
Chris
represent?
is here with an organization which I will say equips people, common wananchi, with facilities in terms of loans and even boda bodas and such kind of enforcement to financial
Inclusion. Yeah.
And he is with Watu Credit. Am I right, Chris?
Correct.
Karibu sana. Karibu sana.
Chris, Watu Credit 10 years.
Yes.
Please tell us more about Watu Credit.
So, Watu Credit is an asset financing company which specializes specifically on key products that have high impact to a lot of people in the society.
Okay.
So we finance connectivity devices. So we are talking about mobile phones to help people with a lot of financial inclusion, studies, and a lot of things. So there's a lot of support in that area. And then our major product for the past 10 years has been motorbikes and three-wheelers.
Yeah.
So those have been the main products. We've been financing that for 10 years now. I think one of the biggest players in the industry, and you've seen the rise of boda boda over the last few years. So in a nutshell, that is what to credit for you.
So the sustainability, and I like a bit of giving the boda boda guys something to do.
Yeah.
So how do you see this project? Is it sustainable? How are you getting into different counties, for example, in Kenya? And I hear you in a host of countries in Africa,
Yes.
Rwanda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uganda. So very, very sustainable. Like to understand this, you have to go way back.
Yeah.
So I was looking at data from around 2017 to 2021.
Yeah.
We see a jump of motorbikes in Kenya by around 53%.
Yeah.
So if you look at this time, that is the time now where financing companies like Watu Credit are also picking up in the industry. So before Watu Credit, you could see like a lot of people that had motorbikes had rented bikes. So where they rent a bike and then they'll be paying 500 shillings to this person and they will never own that particular bike. So with us coming into the picture, we're able to shift that, and then we see a lot of people now actually purchasing motorbikes because they cannot afford it on cash. They're able to now pay a little down payment and be able to own these motorbikes. So with that, we see this surge, and the latest data from NTSA, we're talking about 2.5 million motorbikes across the country, which are contributing to around 660 billion, which is 4% of the Kenyan GDP, just coming from the boda boda industry. So quite something with a big impact and very sustainable, especially we're looking with a lot of youth that are not employed. So this is an opportunity for them to actually put food on the table. So I'll say really sustainable.
Okay. So Chris, I have a question, and obviously the boda industry is booming, and everyone every day requires one, whether you're delivering food or something, you always need one.
Yes.
So what are the eligibility requirements for someone looking to access credit from Watu Credit, for example?
Okay, so if you're looking at that, we are targeting very specific people that normal banks and credit institutions will not touch.
Yeah.
Like before Watu Credit, if you told me like I need to give a loan to a boda boda, I'll run away.
True.
Because I didn't understand who the boda boda is.
Yes.
But from Watu Credit, I've understood who is a boda boda person and what they need. So for us, we are targeting most of the people that no one will want within the society. So mostly these are the people that are unbanked. And because of these, the requirements are really minimal. So at Watu Credit, we we believe that any customer is good.
Any customer
So a customer is good, has good in them,
Yes.
and they are willing to get something that will help them pay to have their livelihood. So our requirements are quite minimal. So one is we need someone who is at least 18 years old.
So
you're
18 years of
you're
age.
at least an adult.
Yes.
You have an ID.
Yes.
You've been transacting through Pessah, so that we're able to check affordability in case you're able to.
So a good Pessah balance sheet.
Not really good, just to show that you're transacting with M-Pesa and you can be able to afford the basics.
Okay.
And then for boda we need to understand which stage are you operating on, because for us now that's very key, because we know you're going to use that asset that we're giving you for economic activities, and then after that now you just need a down payment. So right now it's 35% of the value of the
motorbike.
Of the motorbike, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So those are just some of the basic requirements required for you to get a bike.
So what measures do you want to put in place to cause of the default rate? You see these like some of the characters you are financing are prone to default.
Yeah, so it's one of the risks. Unfortunately, it's one of the risks that we have to face, and that's why you'll see a lot of businesses might not even venture in such businesses. But for us, it all starts from the lending bit. As I said in the first step, we only finance something that will help you generate income.
Okay.
So the asset that we're giving you, the phone or the motorbike that we're giving you, is now able to generate some income for you, and then part of that income is what you're using to repay your loan. So with this, anyone that uses that asset for what it's intended for, they're not going to struggle to make a payment. So the key thing we do here is working very closely with the boda community to ensure that we know which stage this person is going to operate from.
Yes.
So we have mapped out over 22,000 stages across the country, working with a lot of border leadership to understand where the customers are operating. So that is the first bit of it. The second bit of it is we are very flexible. So if you look at our business model, we have looked at these people cannot afford something upfront. So this person makes, we looked at average in Nairobi, they make between 1,500 to 2,000 shillings per day, a bit less in the rural areas. So this person, if you look at this person, they need to use that money within the same day. So we have to look at is this money enough for them to actually pay their loans and also have be able to feed their family and pay other expenses. So we have very flexible payments for these customers, and then if in case they're struggling, we have options where we can help them finance their repairs in case their bike is broken down. We can be able to restructure their loans. So there's a lot of things that we are doing within that. But unfortunately, we have some default, and once a customer defaults, an asset can be repossessed for a few days to allow them to make a part of the payment so that they can get back to them. Yeah, but majority of our customers are good customers and they make payments.
Okay.
So before AMS comes in, so how does financial mobility and smartphones through microloans empower low income first-time borrowers, particularly building credit heavy on unlocking wider financial inclusion opportunities?
Okay. So good question. So we can start with the connectivity side. So we are seeing currently in Kenya, I think we're one of the most advanced countries in Africa, getting to around 53% mobile phone penetration. And then you can look at this as directly, you look at that growth directly related with also the growth of M-Pesa. So you're looking at these people that did not have bank accounts or could not have bank accounts, but now they have a mobile phone, which allows them now to have M-Pesa, and with M-Pesa now it allows them now to get assets like mobile phones and now build a credit history that can be used also not from just people like us, they can also be used by banks to now unlock credit for themselves. So really big. And then also looking at the amount of industries that can be open from that gadget that they're actually getting. With the advent of AI, you're seeing a lot of people using this. I was just giving an example. Last week, I had a boda person in Kibera who like wrote a proposal to an international NGO
Oh, wow.
through ChatGPT and was able to get helmets delivered in
Oh,
Kibera to support his people. So you can
That's
just
good,
imagine
yes.
like how much this changes the lives of people. We're seeing examples. There's a Facebook group whereby people can actually and these are people from remote areas like Turkana, Pokot. They can actually post images of any snake in case there's a snake bite, and there are people that can help them identify which type of snake is it poisonous and such things. So there's a lot of opportunities that are coming up. I was giving an example last week, even in the creative industry. You're seeing a lot of TikTokers coming up, and this becomes an income generation avenue for them. So there's a lot of things that are coming up through mobile phones. We are seeing the government talking about e-procurement. We're seeing things like e-citizen. People are able to get logbooks and other services using their phones. So really big impact.
Okay. For clarity, I think you did mention that it is 35%. However, I would like to ask, is there a minimum deposit to get started with Watu Credit? Is that 35%?
Yeah, so it depends with the product that you're taking. So for example, if you're taking a mobile phone on loan, depends also with which type of phone you're taking. So with the cheapest model, the lowest deposit is around 3,500. It can go all the way up to 21,000 depending on the type of phone. If you want the S series, so right now we're focusing on the Samsung. So if you want the S series, that will be a bit expensive.
Okay.
When we look at the mobility side, it's 35% of the value of the asset. So you'll get from as low as 40,000. You should be able to get a bike, the ones that are a bit cheaper. If you want an electric bike, that's even cheaper. So there you will get it at 25,000 and as a down payment.
Chris, I think tukisema 25%, 35%. Can we talk numbers? For example, what is the average price? And when you say 35%, so what am I paying? Are you expecting 50,000 for me because the asset is
so that will
165,000?
So for most, for what we call the ICE bike, the engine bikes, so that's operating between 40 to 70,000 in terms of down payment.
Okay.
But if you want an electric bike, that is fixed at 25,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, those are good numbers.
Yeah.
And just to follow up on that answer, so how do you ensure responsible lending to avoid over indebtedness of among your clients? Because that does tend to happen. And in fact, last week, Batuan, there was a video trending where online lenders will give you, for example, 1,000, and you end up paying 12,000. So how do you avoid indebtedness amongst your clients?
Yeah, so first of all is based on the KYC, as I've said before. Like we only give you something that is going to help you generate money. So that's the first bit. If you look at most online lenders, they're giving people money that they can use for partying and other things, so they'll be able to, they'll struggle. Yes. But this one is something that will generate income that helps you now to pay that lend. And we have a confirmation mechanism using the stage chairman for what we call for motorbikes.
Oh, okay.
If you're looking at phones now use a model that we call pay as you go.
Okay.
So for example, if you have a phone, and we are seeing a lot of this, especially in the rural areas, so you only pay when you need it. So for example, I'm busy during the week, I'm somewhere that there's no network, I'm not using my phone, so I don't need to pay during that period. So if I go now to the city where I have network and anything, that's when now you pay for it. So with that one, it at least controls how you're using that phone, and then also you don't get into a lot of debt. Apart from that, we're only limiting you to one loan. So for example, if you have a motorbike loan, we can't give you another motorbike loan. So you can't have two loans concurrently at the same time, because at that particular point you're going to struggle. Okay. So those are some of the things that we look at to ensure that we're just giving out our loans responsibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you've really captured it very well. But last week you saw there's this week an incident which happened around Galleria where motorcycles involved in shooting.
Yeah.
How do you mitigate such incidences where a bike has not been paid for? And these are things which can happen in society. Someone can misuse a bike for ulterior motive.
Yes.
Do you have any way of dealing with such issues, or a plan to deal with such issues when they emerge?
Yeah, those occurrences were quite unfortunate, and I just like to be very clear. It doesn't represent like the border community. Like the border community has a lot of parents and good people that are actually just working hard to feed their families. But unfortunately, within the industry, you can be infiltrated with some people that do not have the same notions as most of the border community. So one of the things that we are doing as a company, we are working very closely with them in terms of different forms of training. We have partnered with Nakada in certain cases where we are training border people on drug abuse and what they need to do.
Yes.
I've worked very closely with the NTSA. We have events like we call Tujenge Msingi, where we're talking about road safety and how they can protect themselves on the road, giving them helmets and reflectors. So far in 7 counties, we have done first responder trainings to the border community, and this captures how do you seclude the area, how do you support the people that are injured, not to ban whatever is there, but how do you support these people, treat them. So those are some of the things that we are doing to ensure that things are working correctly. But the bigger thing we're doing is working very closely with the leadership of border across the whole country, plus NTSA and different partners, just to ensure that this industry is moving in the right direction.
All right.
Yeah.
I think what you've captured is something very essential for us to have mobility in financial inclusion. And maybe where do you see Watu in maybe 5-10 years?
Yeah. So in the next few years, I see Watu is a company now that will integrate a lot of technology. I said with the advent of AI, it will make it even easier for people to access loans now because we will be having automatic credit scoring. So that makes easier and faster. So right now we're issuing out loans for under 2 hours. So you can imagine with this technology and everything, we'll be able to do that even faster in an automated way. There's also a big jump and shift due to climate change. So a shift to EV. We just crossed over 2,000 active EVs financed by Watu last week. So we are looking at growing this number because it captures both sides. So one, there's an aspect of climate change, but there's also an aspect of affordability to most of our customers because it's even cheaper and more sustainable for them. So it makes it even easier for them to pay their loans and feed their family. So I'm seeing a bigger growth in rural areas, even for smartphones in areas that are not penetrated right now. As I said, at around 65, I'm seeing this jump to around 80, and Watu is going to be a big part of that growth.
I think you've captured it very well, Chris, and we will come back with a few more questions after the break. And let me invite our DJ to play a couple of good music. It's a Friday so that we unwind it a bit.
This is for the cool